And yes, Mr. Potter did a nice job of presenting last month. It was nice to have a good month to look it over. So then we will move to item B, which is the 2012-13 district budget update.
Are you looking? Where's that?
Scott's switching here. Well, you have the handouts. If you want a handout, I'll give you one. But if anybody in the audience, anybody want a handout to look at here? Remembers?
Mr. Rundio does.
So if you would like a copy, there's only 15. Pass it around. I had a lot of handouts tonight, so there's typos. Did the best I could with what I have. In the first handout that you're looking at, and again, I should have up here Fund 27, but you'll know it's Fund 27 because you talk about aidable costs, non-aidable, full through preschool, and items like that. And as we're putting the budget together, we start out looking at Fund 10, 27, and Fund 38. There's also Fund 50, which is the food service. Again, Fund 38, 39 are the debt service, and Fund 10 is our regular fund. And this isn't a formal budget presentation. That will come in May and in June when we get those budgets a little bit further down the road. And also when you need to approve one to bring to the annual meeting coming up in August. But my main goal here is to show you a couple things. This is Fund 27, and we'll talk about these numbers later tonight when we talk about changes to the insurance. But you're seeing our costs in Fund 27 actually have decreased from last year to this year. And while that's a good thing, and we're getting these costs down through, again, our insurances and some other coding changes, it presents a problem for us, and it's called maintenance of effort. I've talked about maintenance of effort a lot in the last 2 or 3 years because typically our budgets weren't going backwards. They were continuing to grow, even if it was at a slight rate. But what maintenance of effort means is that our budget for 2011-12 is $4,144,576. And as presented for 2012-13, it's $3,859,552. So it's decreased $285,000. So that means, MOE means, we can't spend any less than we spent the previous year in Fund 27. So that means, and I should get down to the actual, that's just salary there. This $247,938, that's salary and non-salary. We have to spend that money somehow, some way in Fund 27. So all that work we did changing insurance, trying to get our costs down for salary and fringes for staff, we cannot take advantage of the savings in Fund 27 because of maintenance of effort. So that means we'll have to find a way to supplement this $247,000, or we will end up getting a penalty. In the end, it's coming from the feds, but through the DPI. So, and when you're looking at this maintenance of effort, so maybe we think, well, we'll take the penalty this year, that'll get our costs down, then the next year we're out of the woods. Well, it doesn't work that way. If the following year you want to think you're going to spend less, they're always going to keep going back to this number here. So there are ways to reduce your maintenance of effort costs, but they really only truly come is when you have the reduction of a position through a resignation or in changes in salary and fringes there. But you can't just not spend as much. And what they're worried about is that when you do get into situations like this, is that your special ed students will bear the brunt of any cuts in their programming. And although we don't want to see cuts in their programming, we also don't want to see Fund 10 have to bear the responsibility of maintaining that effort. But as it's showing right now, That's exactly what's happening. So it's kind of a catch-22 for everybody involved, both the kids in special education and the kids in Fund 10, and for the districts that's trying to keep our costs under control. So this budget process is a lot like that this year. It's one step forward, two back, and we will be seeing a lot, so we'll have to be patient as we go through the numbers. The last one, and again, the main point of showing you this tonight is kind of give you a heads up of where we're going. Overall, if you look at Fund 10, and again, this is early, we've reduced costs by about $443,000. We're at this time show a positive of about $65,763 of revenues over expenses for next year. That will get gobbled up somewhere, somehow, some way. It always does. It's real preliminary right now, but feeling pretty good at this time. Again, as we look at our insurances, you'll see exactly where those savings came from. And that is Mrs. Ardy was talking, and Mrs. Buzzwell asked. You're seeing that technology integration specialist position is in this budget. So it's really all I have at this point in time. We'll be talking about it again in May, again in June, July, August, September, and then in the meantime we'll be talking about the following year's budgets. So that's all I have.
Well, thank you, Mr. Goiter, and it's always, like you said, a real work in progress at this point in time, but go with what we have.
You got anything else?
You might want
You can
to,
just leave it there.
you might want to talk a little bit about maintenance. That maintenance of effort is an issue that every school district in the state.
Yeah, it's a federal law. The DPI has been in contact with the feds about this, but it'll take congressional action to even change the law, and there's just really no hope that that's going to happen anytime soon on this, just because of the way the systems are looking at right now.
The state government is doing one thing and the federal government is doing the opposite, kind of.
I wouldn't say they're doing the opposite. I think you have laws that have been in place for many, many years. Maintenance of effort is not a new law. It's just right now it's in conflict of not only the state of Wisconsin, but many other state governments where they're trying to reduce their costs. But it's making it very difficult for districts to do that because of the maintenance of effort, and for the state too. The state's got to be accountable, the Department of Public Instruction, for what we're doing. So they're just following the rules like we're just following the rules.
And just to be clear, Greg, maybe you made the point, with Fund 27, with that savings, it's not as though we cut any programs at all. That largely just reflects the savings through the hard work of trying to get the insurance costs down, correct?
Correct.
And so it's sort of a case of no
Good deed goes unpunished. Yes.
And it's specific to those employees for insurance within Fund 27 grouping, not even everybody. So.
And they all work this all works together, so it's not like, Fund 27 staff are getting any more or less than Fund 10 staff. They're all getting the same. You'll see the decreases are again the same as you see this $443,824, and then you see what is going on in Fund 27. That's a direct result of utilizing the various things that we've been given to deal with some of these financial issues. And again, it's go forward, go backwards, and we'll get through it though. We presented a balanced budget every year, and fortunately that there may be some position eliminations through attrition, but I don't even think we're really talking about a lot, or even one or two maybe at the most, and we haven't brought that back yet, if we even will. Certainly we want to take advantage of them if we can over the next couple of years, but we haven't reduced programming for any programs this year. And that was done intentionally too. I mean, last year we could have changed health insurance. We got the number we needed to get through last year. We took our lumps on eliminating positions to get into this year, and now we're seeing through the changes in insurance, we're able to manage our budget next year because of that. So that wasn't an accidental decision. That was kind of the way we planned it. I think you find a lot of other districts this year that are eliminating staff. If you've been looking at the various news outlets out there, they're talking about reductions.
So I would credit Mr. Gorder with a lot of that foresight to recognize the things that we could be changing from one year to the next, so we're not sitting this coming year looking at having to cut, positions or programming.
And I thank Mrs. Zardi for saying that, but I will tell you, when we're looking going forward, with a $50 increase per student, and that's what we're getting this year, and we'll talk about that more, but we're looking within a year or two some significant cuts again, and probably like we saw within the last year. We just can't do what we need to do and maintain any semblance of increases for our staff and salary and fringe with a $50 increase on students. We have about 3,000 students in the district, times $50, that's about $150,000 increase every year. That's really very difficult to keep up with the non-salary fixed costs. And we had a great year this year on our weather. I think everybody's appreciative of that, although it kind of makes it tough going out there now. But you can't expect to have that every year, and where will fuel prices end up here? So saved in one area, but spent a little bit in another area. So we'll see. But we will present a balanced budget like we do every year.
Well, I think all of our board has appreciated all the efforts you go through, Mr. Gorder, and we really do appreciate your hard work. It doesn't go unnoticed, so thank you.